So, starting over. Everyone, this is Snagging Inez, here to cast some more Chair League shenanigans. Tonight we got two best of three games. First team is going to be Unstable versus Dunning-Kruger Knights. And then right after them, we got another best of three. So stick around. It's going to be, hopefully a good 2 hours, 2.5 hours, maybe. Should be pretty good. All right. And we were waiting for the fifth member of Dunning-Kruger Knights, but they just joined in. So we're going to get this game underway pretty soon. Everybody ready? My dog is underneath my chair. All right, and let's get this game going. So, Dunning-Kruger Knights decided to pick Sky Temple. I've recently been doing a lot of Sky Temple games. And, I mean, we've seen it for the last couple days, and chosen by Dunning-Kruger Knights, so hopefully I'm assuming they have some type of strategy for it. Unstable decides to start off right off the bat with the Diablo ban. They don't want to deal with any of those stuns. They don't want to deal with any of those positioning errors on their team, making sure that there's no follow-up. I mean, a lot of times you see the Artanis ban lately, followed by sometimes Rag, sometimes the Malf, sometimes the healer. If we ban the Malf here, could set up for getting rid of one of the top healers so that everybody's kind of on the same playing field. Going a little bit of time, make sure that they use up all their time to decide on all of their options that they have. I mean, you gotta remember that Dunning-Kruger has the second two picks, and there's Artanis ban, so yeah, they don't want to deal with all those swaps. And the Malf, just like I was talking about. So like, there's one of those times where the Malf could be banned right off the bat, just because it puts you both on an even playing field of healers. Like Malf is not super far ahead. Obviously, Malf loses, but he's definitely higher up than the other healers, which puts your team in a higher advantage, more percent chance of winning, if you will. So he's just always a strong first pick, and anybody can follow up him. He has solid heals right now. He has a solid follow-up to any type of stun comp. He has the AoE silence, which is good for any wombo combo, so he fits with everybody. I think he's just always going to be in the first round, first bans of any team that we go against. Dunning-Kruger decides to go with the Ragnaros. They want to make sure that they get those Molten Core fights over the shrines. So, having Ragnaros kind of peel away on the beginning of the shrine, take over a fort, poke a lot of damage onto people, and secure your team on the shrine, and then he can come in as a regular person when everybody's hurt. Holy crap, I am so good at this. Like, honestly, I am... so bad. So during that, we got a Dahaka pick on the side of Unstable, followed by the Tychus. I was actually just talking to Althanis earlier. We just played a couple games, and I think Dahaka is, in my opinion, one of the strongest heroes in any 3-lane map. When played correctly, then he's going to win you the soak lanes. He pops in right at the team fight to get that one stun, any type of follow-up stun, maybe a mouth root, maybe a variant taunt, as we displayed in the quick match game earlier. In my opinion, he's so strong in any 3-lane map. So Dunning-Kruger decides to ban Zarya. I'm not quite sure that was useful. I don't think, unless for some reason they're scared of a Zarya against their comp. Like, there's not too many comps that Zarya will punish. She's usually an enabler, as what Zarya is usually paired with, either an Ariel as a hope generator or a Vala to give shields to be aggressive. or the I'm just waiting, reading chat as they're realizing how terrible of a caster I am. You know, you wouldn't realize that I've just been doing this for at least the last couple weeks and last season. Pretty bad. Right now, Unstable is showing the Brightwing, getting rid of some of the globals since they've already picked up the Dahaka. They know they have one guaranteed global. They know Dunning-Kruger still has to pick up a healer. Get rid of one of the global comps. So make sure that they're not as contested in that sense. Now, they're still a Falstad. They can easily pick Falstad here. And Falstad might be the way they want to go. I mean, Falstad's still pretty strong. He's a global presence to counter the Dahaka, especially when the second Shrine phase goes on, and you have potentially Knights pushing top, and you want to clear those Mercs and that lane before you join the fight. But if they want Falstad, they need to pick it now, because they want to take away the position for Unstable to pick it. Or neither team can get it. That's also an option. I don't know these teams. I don't know what they like. They decided to go with the Nazeebo. Solo laner, or solid, decent solo laner. But Nazeebo plays for the late game. He gets super strong at about, level 16, level 20, especially level 20. Once he's got his stacks up, he starts destroying kids. But he's definitely a late game hero. Unless they're really good at landing zombie walls, then he's early game as well. But zombie walls are pretty tough, even for the pros. So with they're probably, I'm gonna imagine Unstable is gonna be looking for a second tank, a second frontliner at least. Maybe it doesn't have to be a warrior; it could just be somebody else that's gonna be a frontliner. Because that always pairs well with Malfurion. That's usually more CC to follow up with the Dahaka. And there's the Varian. Again, not a hero until 10. Everybody's got to remember that. So not a good, once they get 10, he is going to be super solid. And but especially with the charge, the taunt, the Dahaka pull, the mouth roots, that's a lot of lockdown. Thanks, Evil Bread. That's pretty awesome. That's nice for you to say. So I think for Dunning-Kruger to come back from this, they have a cleanse, which is good. They're going to need a cleanse, guaranteed. They do have burst with ETC Ragnaros. They have sustained damage with Nazeebo. I think they're still going to want some form of global. A Zeratul is not going to be too good for him yet. Trying to think who might be really strong. Jaina might be pretty good with the ETC stun, the Rhaegar slow. Jaina could get some value, but they do go with the Vala. That's gonna be a tough sell. The Vala's gonna have a hard time, honestly, because with the solo heal Rhaegar, Vala's either gonna have to play very passive and basically just be poking Varian Dahaka, and it's definitely gonna be a tough sell to go with the Vala, but we'll see if it works. So both teams have a very strong solo laner with the Dahaka on one lane, Ragnaros on the other lane. I think eventually Dahaka should win bottom lane, but it's practically even unless somebody gets a gank. The solo lane is practically even. Look at this: Unstable with the Portrait synergy, Dunning-Kruger with the Portrait synergy, already off to a good start. As I don't know if you guys ever heard Dread, and what I've been saying for a while is that Portrait synergy, Mount synergy, that wins games. Honestly, it's all about the morale. If you have Portrait synergy, you have Mount synergy, and your team's already on the same page, you're winning. So right off the bat, honestly, at first glance, I like Unstable more, and I might have a bias to Dahaka, so that might take that with a grain of salt. But I think their stun lock comp is going to be very powerful, especially with the Tychus follow-up. If he goes the bigger they are, he's going to be able to melt somebody, along with the Li Ming burst. So, starting off the team fight, we have on the left side the blue team, Unstable. We got Super Dave on Li Ming, Shiz on Dahaka, Mystic Shroud on Tychus, Totem on Malfurion, and Liquid on the Variant. And on the right side of Dunning-Kruger Knights, we have Apple Eater on ETC, Ralph Stew on the Ragnaros, Shwick on Nazeebo, Goki Buri on Vala, and Hotaru on Rhaegar. So I think right in the beginning, there's usually some type of little scuffle. Looks like neither team is going to go for an immediate scuffle. Unstable decides to take the watchtower, and Dunning-Kruger is already splitting to go towards their lanes. Nazeebo's going to be top lane. Ragnos is going to be bottom lane. Pretty standard. And I think there's probably should be a rotation between the Rhaegar and the ETC to get any type of ganks. So, again, for me, I always try as a Dahaka, I stay mid lane right at the bat to get, thanks for the follow, to get the mid lane soak, and then burrow bottom, get the other soak, and you can usually stop the other team. Like, it slows them down a little bit. Unstable decides to 4-man rotate up to the top lane, see if they might be able to catch anybody off guard, especially with any type of rotation. No dice there, and allows Dunning-Kruger to get an easy clear on the mid lane. Good positioning from the Li Ming to stay a little bit out on the flank. As the Li Ming player, you always want to try to stay on the flank to get... Dahaka's in a little bit of trouble. He does have his W, he's able to just walk through. Has to burn his essence, and that's very good. That's almost a win, because it takes a long time for Dahaka to get the essence in the early game until he gets the level 4 talent. So having him burn that will guarantee that Ragnos wins this lane for a little bit. But he doesn't have to back yet, and that's the big deal. He doesn't have to use Burrow. So he has Burrow for any team fight when need be. And so a lot of times with the Varian early game, Varian's not a hero. They actually don't want to trade temples because they want to soak as much experience as possible. And that's kind of one of the tricks for Varian, is that you are all about the soak until 10. Like, you don't even care. Like, you don't care about team fight. You want to force the other team out of soaking, but you want to focus on soaking yourself. So, like, they're really going to want... Varian got a little too far charged in, and this is the problem. So hopefully he does not go down. Parry able to save him, keep him alive away from the Vala. But Tychus is poking down. He might be caught out a little too far, and that does go down to the ETC slide. Able to catch the Tychus a little too far in and follow between Nazeebo and Vala. So they want as much soak as possible. They want Varian to get to 10. Varian might be getting a little too far again. ET slide to catch him off guard, and the follow-up with Vala still not able to get the catch on him. Really good. I mean, it's the Malfurion heals, and the parry was enough to keep him alive. Sorry, my dog is trying to play fetch with me right now. So, like, they missed a soak here in the mid lane. Like, they missed a complete wave, and that's not what you want to do right now. Kills are not important. Unless you guarantee a kill, you want to get soak. Luckily, I mean, they've been pushing... I mean, Ragnos has been doing very well of going to both lanes. Varian is waiting here for a little bit of overextension by the Zebo, and that might be the chance. He does have the stun right now. The slow follow-up, good combo. Tychus, and they do get the kill. Varian does get trapped, but that doesn't matter. Instead, that was a much-needed kill on the side of Unstable, because it caught them back up into experience. They're almost dead even now. I would actually say they're exactly even. And so it's 3:30 right now. We're going to be looking for both teams to want to start the Knights. You're going to want to be starting the Knights now, so that way around 4:30 the Knights finish, and they'll be pushing top lane during the bottom shrine. Doesn't look like either. We might get a rotation on the side of Dunning-Kruger. There is going to be a gank on the Ragnaros. That's a good win. I don't think he's going to be able to get out of that. Definitely not. Killed by the lunar flare. The heavens opened up, shot down moonbeams on people. So no teams rotated to Knights. I mean, that's okay. It's not. I mean, since neither team did it, neither team's at a loss. But usually you want Dahaka to be rotating to be already have rotated to the top lane, so that way he's available to be soaking and burrow down to the bottom shrine when it pops. It's just just little tweaks to kind of optimize your playstyle, optimize your team comp. So, and the thing here is that you have a global presence. To abuse that, you don't want to be forced to fight into the lane where you're already going to be fighting. Like, you want to be somewhere else and then take it. See, both teams. I mean, both teams did rotate to take Knights. It's just a little bit off timing. Like, he knows that the shrine's already been started for the last 10 seconds, and they're not even nowhere close. Granted, both teams did the exact same thing, so it doesn't matter. We do have a little bit of team fight. Rhaegar's getting pretty close up, but the stun by the ETC is bursting down the Dahaka, but he does have his essence to come back up. ETC gets counter-engaged on, but doesn't go down. So close, barely gets out of range of the Li Ming stuff. So now, look here. So you had that little scuffle. Nobody died, which is good. Good for both teams. We're having another re-engage. Dahaka does have his, but Liquid gets a little bit too far out. Remember, he's not 10 yet, and the zombie wall from Nazeebo did work, catching both Tychus and Malfurion in the zombie wall, and then the spiders just bit up the Tychus for the loss. So now, that team fight was a little bit of a misplay. So if you were to imagine that Dahaka was top lane at the very beginning of that team fight, they probably would have been able to get 10 or really close to 10 before that fight even happened. They would just poke, give up the shrine. Oh shoot, I think I have to pause. How do I pause? I don't know how to. Do we have... Okay, I guess everybody's in. Never mind. I freaked out a little bit there. So yeah, so like you probably would have been able to get 10 before that team fight happened. Like you can give up a little bit of tower shots and get 10 first and then engage. And Dahaka burrows in and engages on somebody. So, but now we do have level 10. Right, Varian does have his taunt. He does have his stun lock comp. Dahaka's doing work in top lane, pushing out the Nazeebo. And we're just going to have a little bit of a 4-man pokes on both sides of the bottom 4 lane. So now Tychus did get in the rhythm. So he's going to be building up his minigun stacks. And you saw right there, he just chunked down. Wow, Nazeebo did work against Dahaka. And with the global from the ETC, he was able to punish his death. Nice root there. That's a blind root. I'm not blind, but that's like a open root. I mean, hitting that's pretty tough. And this is giving Nazeebo the top fort. That's a good win. So they're getting good push on all lanes right now on the side of Dunning-Kruger. Nazeebo is pretty much uncontested. Dahaka is going to be right on top of him. But he doesn't have any essence right now, so he's not going to really want to fight. We're going to have a little bit of a scuffle on the bottom lane between the Rhaegar and the Vala. Good stun Rain of Vengeance between the Vala. Barely misses, but that Sulfurious Smash right on the money. Able to take down Malfurion. And they might be able to follow up on this Tychus right now. Unstable. I mean, Dunning-Kruger is really understanding how far they can go to get the kill. Like, ETC diving in there first to get the stun, taking the tower shots, the follow-up to the Vala, a good communication to capture the... And here's the good stun lock if it happens. Oh, Dahaka must have just used his tongue right beforehand and wasn't able to follow up on the Varian stun. So we got another game where... Or another shrine phase with 2 shrines open. So honestly, Dunning-Kruger, DKK, I'm just gonna start saying DKK. DKK is in a position where they will be happily trading shrine for shrine all game long. They're ahead in structures by a good margin. A taunt by Varian, but not a good follow up. The Sulfurious Smash follow up to the ETC slide is on point. Obviously, Varian has a lot of health pool, so it's not going to do much for him. Dahaka's not even able to take all that without enough essence. But he comes down to mid team fight, misses the tongue. ETC follow up with the almost follow up between the Nazeebo wall. We did pop Odin, and DKK is just going to walk away. Odin's out. They don't need a team fight anymore. They can just walk away. By the time they get up to this top lane, Odin's pretty much going to be gone. A nice zombie wall to wall him off of this choke point. It's a good understanding of your hero's abilities and what you can take advantage of and abuse. Knowing that this choke point is perfect size for a zombie. Dahaka's going to be looking to get up to 13 now. They want to fight into even talent tiers. Vala's looking around. Almost could have gotten caught out of position there, but nobody was really around. It looks like DKK is just looking for a fight right now. They're looking for some ganks. ETC's a little bit out of position there. If Varen's able to follow up on this and the Dahaka stun, there it is, and that's a good stun lock with the root, and that's the combo that they're going to be looking for. And you have to remember, that's able to happen every 20 seconds. Every 20 seconds, they can get a stun lock like that and almost guarantee a kill. So if they keep that up, staying together when it needs to, keeping that up, those stun locks up, that can really push into a victory. They're going to come in here, poke the scene that Unstable is doing the boss. I don't think they'll be able to contest it. Now, ETC does have stage dive, but he's not going to be alive in time. They're actually taking a lot of damage, but they do end up getting the boss. A good zombie wall, a good route to stop the Ragnaros from getting closer. And they should just walk away from this Gargantuan. They don't really care about it. So ETC does have stage dive. If they decided to force, then he could join instantly. But right now, DKK is going to want to get 16. You know, clear the top lane, clear the mid lane, get 16, then fight. So, they're looking to almost invade this. They know Rag is 2 people are bottom. They can push onto this. Looks like he didn't taunt there. If he taunted, that would have been a kill, and he's almost in a bad position. But the Rain of Vengeance does miss. ETC coming in with the stage dive to slow him down. Varian's slow, close to. Oh, walks into the tower and dies. Feels bad. And Malfurion dies to the Vala afterwards. Ooh, Vala, what are you doing? She's like, hey, giant robot. I wanna say hi to you. But Tychus is definitely gonna go down to the Nazebo. Dahaka might go down as well due to the Ragnaros push, but oh, everybody left. What's happening? What is happening? Why can't I pause? Where's the pause button? So I'm seeing a lot of them disconnect. I mean, maybe they're not actually disconnecting, but I'm seeing a lot of them disconnect. Because like their names are all there, so I guess not. But so that was a good start. I feel like if Varian taunted that Rhaegar, they definitely would have gotten the kill there. And this should be a dead ETC. Yeah, he has nowhere to go. Definitely going down. They got a little bit greedy with their shrine splitting, but I think it's worth it for them. Like I said before, they're already ahead on structures. They'll gladly trade shrines all day long, and they can't really be punished for that ETC death right now. So they did get all the shrine of the mid shrine. This mid keep is taking a good amount of damage now. If there's another mid shrine, that keep is definitely going down. There's a lane pushing up top, a good zombie wall to kind of force. That was a really good roll for knowing that Tychus is going to try to chase. They are looking for a team fight now that they are 16. If they can get a hit on this Nazebo to get her out of position, Varian's a little bit farther behind. A good speed increase on the stun on Ragnaros, but Dahaka's taking a lot of damage. Varian coming in with the stage dive. Odin popped. Dahaka's taking so much damage, but he's able to survive. A good Sulfurious Smash on the Malfurion. Tychus is 1v1ing Vala, and they kill each other. And during all that, ETC and Ragnaros are able to go down. The Vala 1v1ing a giant robot. You got your little bow and arrows, and you're doing damage to a giant robot. How does that work? But, yeah, Vala's she's a tough demon hunter. So now Unstable has control of the map. They're able to catch up a little bit more in structures. I mean, the DKK still has all of their keep walls, so they are still ahead, but not by much. More team fights like that, and this can be anybody's game. So right now, Unstable is just making sure that they can keep control of their map, force DKK to react to their merc camps. Looking at the talents, we did see Ancestral Healing, Twilight Dream, nothing out of the ordinary. So a lot of variants are taking the Lion's Maw. I think Overpower with Overpower Change is the stronger talent, especially since there are 3 main auto attackers, especially with Vala. With her auto attack speed, Overpower gets a lot of value, and it's a lot more burst. Looks like they are showing 1 on the shrine, a little bit of a gank push. They don't So right now DKK doesn't know where they are exactly, but they have to know they're going to be expecting some type of engagement. They're playing a little bit cautious, making sure that they clear out these Merclings so that way they can get vision in the lane. Waiting for the rest of the team to show up. Hopefully nobody face checks this bush. Oh, Ragnaros is getting pretty close. That might be a dead Ragnaros just because of that. Good cleanse out of him. See if he's able to miss Sulfurious Smash. He does get with the Ancestral Healing, so he is able to survive. A good silence Twilight Dream on everybody. Ragnaros is going to go down for it, but the counter kills with the Death Mosh level 20 at the last second Death Mosh, and is able to catch up that team fight. Li Ming is just taking so much damage from the Nazeebo. I think Li Ming is actually going to die due to the Nazeebo poison. So he does have his Vile Affection quest, and this is where playing for the late game, Nazeebo is going to do work. Dahako's going to burrow out of there. Great decision, knowing that he has that escape ability. And that was a pretty interesting team fight. Like, Ragnaros took a while to die. Like, I think there probably wasn't enough focus on him exactly. Tychus was still in the shrine and used his Odin instead of just killing Tychus. So, Ragnaros lived for a while, got Ancestraled, then died. And during all that time, Nazeebo was just able to auto... Look at that damage. Nazeebo was just able to auto-attack damage everybody down. So, it looked really promising for Unstable right at the beginning. But DKK got 20 right at the beginning of that fight, like right then, and was the Death Mosh tripped him up. That Death Mosh secured so many kills. But now, Unstable does know about it, so hopefully they are not going to be grouped up as much. It's going to be a little bit of positioning around this boss. Neither team has a very strong boss potential, but both teams are going to be showing for it. Make sure that nobody sneaks it around. Nazeebo damaged us just so much. They did like a third of Dahaka's health, and he had to get a mouth peel. So this is more beneficial for DKK because they have the top lane pushing. So anytime that they're forcing Unstable to be doing nothing, it's a win for them. They're able to take... Both teams are just going to trade their giants. No big deal. They do see Dahaka go top lane now. Dahaka is shown. Malfroots was already down. Varian might be a little bit out of position now if ETC decides to slide in, but they do not. A lot of damage goes on to Ragnaros with the Li Ming combo. She does have Seeker with the Mirror Ball. Dahaka comes in from the back lane, but that Sulfurous Smash right on top of Dahaka. It was right during he got dragged. That was a great play on the side of Ragnaros. Boss has been engaged. ETC stage dives in and trying to stun the Varian, but not able to hit him. Odin with Big Red Button is down. Rhaegar's taking a lot of damage from the boss. They need to get the Gargantuan involved in this boss fight. And the counter engaged on the ETC, but the Death Mosh, everybody walks into it. It's like they forgot. And the Nazeebo wall on the Tychus and Malfurion. Look at that. That did so much damage. That Tychus goes down. The follow-up with the Vala and the spiders might just kill the... Yeah, spiders definitely kill the Li Ming. And that Death Mosh, they all just walked into it. It was good. I mean, ETC, that's one of the weirdest things about ETC in the late game when you have Death Mosh. Because you almost you want to invite the other team to surround you. You're like, let me stage dive into you, power slide into your whole team, and just kill me. Just kill me. I'll stun you all for 5 seconds, and my team can kill you. So it's a weird. It's like the epitome of Jebaited. It was really good play for him. The Nazeebo follow up with the poison ring of poison did so much damage to Tychus and Malfurion. And with this boss and the Gargantuan, this is going to be the first game going to Dunning-Kruger Knights. Congratulations, good team fighting. They're like with the immediate reaction on the Dahaka being burrowed in was really strong, really good reaction timing. Anyways, so that's game number 1. We are going to move on to game number 2. And I'm going to switch back to this while we get this underway. $3635. 3, 6, 4, 5. So round 1 was won by Dunning-Kruger Knights. So we're going to go to round 2. Map picking is unstable. We are going to Infernal Shrines. Let's go to Infernal Shrines. All right, and so we're just going to get everything set up here. Thanks for the follow, guys, while I was in that game. Like Hotar Gaming, Evil Bread, Skeptic Mo. So moving into game number 2, it's going to be played on Infernal Shrines, picked by Unstable. And let's get these guys in here. Life is going to be quick, because I'm probably going to be late for the other game. I need to get a hold of them. So we're just waiting for both teams to join in the game. All right, everybody ready? Everybody's in. I need to set it to tournament mode. I need to send it to draft home team. Draft starting team is Kreuger Knights. So everything's good. It should be set up. We got game number 2 going. Waiting for Dunning-Kruger to say ready. Get some water. All right, let's start up. All right, so moving on to game number 2 on Infernal Shrines. Right now we are Dunning-Kruger is up 1. And Dunning-Kruger has first pick. And I need to transition again. Luckily, we didn't see anything that time, so we're good. I didn't forget. Once again, Dunning-Kruger decides to ban the Artanis. They don't want to deal with it. They don't want to pick it. So Infernal Shrines is one of those maps where you're looking for somebody that has very strong shrine control that can kill the minions. Kerrigan, Sonya, Zold's actually really good. Gul'dan's decent. Trying to think of a lot of other people. Zarya's not terrible. So those people that can just sustain on the Infernal Shrines by themselves and not need help and kill them relatively quickly. That's somebody who you're kind of looking for. There you see the Kerrigan. So like her Q build allows her to Q auto attack, Q auto attack, Q auto attack, Q auto attack, and every time she does that, that kills a minion. Plus, that gives her super mobility on the actual shrine because she's just able to Q to all the different minions. Plus, like, so she can be on one side of the shrine, Q to the minion on the other side, and then combo somebody, and then Q away onto a different minion. It's a lot of mobility, a lot of power, and then. But the thing is that with the first pick there, is that she has counters. She's very counterable. She can be countered by Medivh. She can be countered by Double Tank. Arthas is a very big counter to her because she has no escape once she dives in, and you just kind of put your Frost Aura on and, you know, just stay next to her and do a lot of damage. They do get the Diablo Malfurion, so they have the push-pull root combo. Plus, on all the different shrines, the 3 different shrines on this map, there are a lot of little sections that you can push somebody into. So it adds a lot of kill potential on the side of unstable. So here I think they're probably going to be looking for their tank for on the side of Kreuger Knights. Probably going to want to look for their tank and probably the healer that they want most. They could still pick up another one of their main range DPS, like if they're looking for the Jaina to combo with the Kerrigan, or if they're looking for like a KT or some other person that's going to combo with Kerrigan in the early game. Because Kerrigan's very much a early game hero. She doesn't scale as well as other heroes do on the late game, and so if she doesn't get a large lead, then she can fall behind. They do pick up their tank, ETC. They might out and Rhaegar, so they do pick up their tank healer. Still, I think those are the same two tank healer that they had last game, so that's obviously a comfort for them. I don't know if ETC will need to have value on stage dive on this map. It is a decent separating map on to use stage dive, but a lot of times when you need to stage dive, you'd be stage diving into a tower, into a fort, into a keep during a team fight, because most team fights happen either right during the shrine start or after the Punisher is already taken and you're pushing into a fort. So a lot of times during the shrine fight, it's almost worth it just to have mosh pit. That was a respect ban. That was definitely, they banned out Nazeebo's second round because they saw the power that DKK had with the Nazeebo on that game, and DKK decides to ban out the Sylvanas, thinking that, hey, if we ever do, usually, so Sylvanas is kind of like a weird trap on this map. She's obviously very good but with a caveat is that you have to win the shrine for her to be good. But the problem is that she doesn't really help you win the shrine. Yeah, she does a lot of good, she does kind of just medial damage. It's not focused damage. Her dagger goes to everybody. Her Qs go into whoever's closest, which is usually a tank of some type. So she doesn't provide a lot of kill potential to help secure the shrine, but you want her when she does get the shrine. So it's almost would have been better for DKK to get her, but they obviously don't want her because they want more kill potential as well. And so Unstable decided to go with Sonya. I like it. So Sonya's the almost counter to Kerrigan here, where she is a shrine controller. Plus, I think she counters Kerrigan pretty easily. Unless Kerrigan's getting into the gank on Sonya, she wants to be closer to Kerrigan, so Kerrigan's not going to pull her and get the stun. And so she can just whirlwind to victory and slam on top of Kerrigan's face. They do have an ETC, so if ETC times his slide with Sonya's spin, then she is going to be vulnerable. But right now, there's a lot of kill potential. There's more kill potential on the side of Unstable than on the side of Dunning-Kruger. So I think Dunning-Kruger is going to want to look for somebody with wave clear. They're very lacking on wave clear here. Kerrigan has almost no wave clear. I mean, she has wave clear with her Q. It does take a little bit longer, and it puts her out of position. Rhaegar has decent wave clear. ETC has decent wave clear. So they're not like severely lacking, but I think they want more. And going with the global and the Zarya, I like it. So Zarya giving shields to the Kerrigan. It is a three-man front line. Gives shields to the Kerrigan for her to go in. And she's also a shrine controller if she needs to be. But granted, you already have Kerrigan, so you'd never do that. Yeah, Skeptic, they set it to best of 1 or best of 3. I honestly don't know how they do it, but glad that they did. So I think on the side of Unstable, who are they going to be looking for? They have a backliner, solid damage. They have 2 front lines. They could go for somebody with massive wave clear and almost like 4-man push the shrine and leave the other person to clear both lanes, to double clear. And they go with the Medivh. So that's a strict counter to Kerrigan. They have the Sonya, which is already going to do good against Kerrigan. They have the Medivh, which counters Kerrigan. And Medivh enables Sonya more, that was a very good pick on the side of Unstable. I think I would almost rather have TKK should have banned out Medivh than banning out Sylvanas. Medivh is definitely a scarier counter to their comp than Sylvanas is. So this, I mean, these are two very good drafts. I think there were slight, there's slight mistakes on both sides, but I think overall, depending on, this is really going to come down to the player's skill, how well Medivh can anticipate the Kerrigan stun and get the force of will, how much the Kerrigan can debate the shield and get stuns. So on the left side, Unstable, Super Dive on the Vala this time, Shiz on the Sonya, Totem on the Medivh, Mystic Shroud on the Malfurion, Liquid on the Diablo. On the right side, Dunning-Kruger Knights, we got Ralph Stew on the Zarya, Apple Eater on the ETC, Shvek on Falstad, Goku Buri on Kerrigan. So we're going to be watching this Kerrigan play, and Hotaru on Rhaegar. So in this scenario, I think Sonya's probably going to be top lane along against the Falstad, and Falstad should win that unless he gets speared. That's the only time that Falstad would lose. And then we have the 4-man between, like the Diablo, Malfurion, Vala with the Medivh. I mean, Medivh always going to get vision, which is strong. Zarya is trying to get a little bit. Kerrigan gets a 3-man combo right there. Medivh's not able to force a will everybody. If force a will the wrong person, you're going to force a will your squishies, just because they're going to die faster than a tank. But that was a good start already on the Kerrigan play, showing that she is going to be capable of getting the big plays. ETC is trying to get a little bit of pick. Didn't hit anybody yet. Kerrigan's a little bit out of position. If Diablo decided to charge right there, that almost could have been pretty detrimental. ETC and Falstad moving top lane, just trying to see if they can catch the Sonya off guard, but she's already reining back. She knows her positioning. Zarya did get Particle Grenade, so she's going to want to be hitting a lot of those Qs. It's always good poke on this map. She's probably not going to need the hit me since she has 3 frontliners. She's not playing as a main tank for the damage. Kerrigan comes in, just a little bit of a whiff on the combo, but takes a good amount of damage there. But once she gets her full Q going, she's going to have a really good sustain. I sit here on the top lane. Looks like I see like here, both teams are pretty. I mean, Sonya will be able to whirlwind the wave, and as long as Falstad doesn't get speared, then Falstad's going to have a pretty easy time against Sonya. Zarya's just trying to keep her energy up a little bit, making sure that she's not starving for energy and doing piddly damage. Rhaegar, a little bit of bad timing. He needed to hearth like 1 wave ago. He's out of mana, and that's not going to help them control the first shrine. I don't think they can fight. They have to know that their healer is out of mana. Zarya has no energy. Falstad's not here yet, so Rhaegar did tap. They're just looking at clear lanes, waiting to get 4 first. They are ahead on the 4 game, so now that they do have 4, they probably almost want to go in before the other team has it. And here comes the invade. A good route to stop the Kerrigan already. She's looking for the big stuns. There's the Q, so the Force of Will already goes out right before the Kerrigan combo, but Kerrigan's taking a lot of damage from the Vala and has to back out a little bit. She needs to be using her Q more often on the minions. She almost does not want to use Q ever on a hero. A good interrupt on the Sonya spin immediately by the ETC. Another miss on the Kerrigan stun. Diablo pushes her away, and the Immortal goes to Unstable pretty easily. Now they're going to want to bait it across the wall. Luckily, Unstable does not have a way to... Oh, granted, they have Medivh portals, so let's see if they get any type of cheeky Medivh portal plays where they go right in. Medivh goes in himself, though. That doesn't quite work. I think you're supposed to do it the other way. But, you're not going to want to do that in the first Immortal because the Immortal dies so quick. Like, it's already dead. All they got was the first wall, which is pretty typical. And they're not going to be scared of anything right now. That did give them half a level lead, but not that big of a deal. They'll be able to come back pretty quick. I'm just going to get some water. Nothing too out of the ordinary for talents. We do have Season Marksman and Static Shield. I think Static Shield's a little bit of a trap. I think you're probably always going to get more value out of the auto attack heals, especially when you have Season Marksman. Like, you might as well get the auto attacks, since your auto attacks are going to be doing more damage and therefore more healing. This requires you, it's sustained healing for what, 8 seconds, and then you can't do anything. Plus, it requires you to be nearby, which you don't want to be. So it's a little bit of a trap to get Static Shield, but hopefully it doesn't hurt him too bad. We do see Whirlwind on the side of Sonya, making sure that she can Whirlwind more often, even though there's only one stun. But she will be able to Whirlwind out of the Totem Slow, which is going to be valuable. And now Master's Touch started for Medivh, so we'll have to pay attention to see if he gets that. What is happening here? Why do I keep seeing people leave, but they're still here? Like, they're just getting a little bit disconnects, but very odd. So far, both teams just opting to get their mercs. It's the little bit of the lull phase in between shrines. No ganks happening anytime soon. And we do have the cleanse on the side of Malfurion now, so that's where we're really going to pay attention to the cleanses, see how on point they are, and then the Force of Will. Zarya should be fine here, no big deal. She walks away, does take half her health, we'll just take a little bit of healing from Rhaegar. Does give her energy back up. So both knights taken. You know, fortunately, the side of Dunning-Kruger they're gonna have their knights pushing during this immortal phase, but Unstable is already in position. Zarya has no energy right now, and they're all getting nice root hitting on 3 people. Cleanse goes out on the Zarya. Kerrigan looks like she was trying to queue into a hero. She really needs to be only queuing on minions, because you want the reset, you want the mobility that it gives. No stun comes out. First stun goes out, but it does miss. ETC Force of Will. Sonya is getting pretty low. She's not able to whirlwind, but the body blocking, they're body blocking themselves on the side of Dunning-Kruger, and it's actually hurting them more often than not with the AoE between Vala. Great body block by the Diablo. That flip. He is so fat. He's just so fat. I think Dunning-Kruger's Kerrigan just needs to hone her skills a little bit more. You do not want to be queuing onto heroes. You want to queue onto the minion that's nearby a hero. That way, if you need to, you can queue away. Plus, if you get the kill, it gives you more damage on your next queue. The Punisher does get baited over to the wall. There's no Medivh portals yet, which is no big deal because they didn't have all 5 of them anyways. Punisher allows them to get another wall. Does give them level 10. And now Dunning-Kruger is going to have to be a little bit more cautious around any type of positioning, knowing that ultimates are up. We do see APOC, Twilight Dream, Reign of Vengeance, Wrath of the Berserker, and Leyline Seal. So we'll see if we get any awesome Leyline Seal into APOC combos. Those are always pretty clutch. Looks like they are setting up for this Kerrigan. She stayed, even though the Zarya saw them, she was out there for a long time. Is she going to be getting away from this? Okay, the good Malfru does secure the kill. But, you know, Zarya saw the 2 of them up here. She stayed in lane. A little bit of a misplay, but it's okay. Dunning-Kruger is going to be looking to get 10 now. Vala's poking around for this Falstad. Almost kills him. Sonya is just succumbed to be the Merc Queen, since she is one of the best Merkers. Zarya's rotating down, making sure that they can try to get 10. ETC's in top lane. Right now, it's just everybody is playing passive, again, waiting in between the shrine phases to make sure that we're not going to be too less of an advantage. Only a level lead down, but right now they're on the same talent tier, so it's not so they're not too scared of anything. They're going to be looking for any type of ganks. They too are able to ninja the knights down here right underneath Dunning-Kruger's noses. All lanes pushed out. Looks like we might be looking for a little bit of a team fight. ETC has not picked his ultimate yet. I don't know why he would be holding it, since he knows all the other ultimates. We do have Expulsion Zone to try to separate the teams, especially on a lot of these chokes. You know, throwing his Expulsion Zone right here, here. All those are really good chokes to separate the team. ETC is looking to get punished for a little bit, but he's able to just walk away with APOC goes down, hits all 5 members. Sonya's going to run around. The Rain of Vengeance does, or Ancestral Healing does go off on the Kerrigan. Holy cow, the low health bars of both Rhaegar and Zarya, and ETC kind of just walks away. Rhaegar, they're so low. The gust does go down. Oh my gosh, how did these guys not get focused down? But, yo, Kerrigan, their lane controller with Kerrigan did go down. Sonya is still up for Unstable, so they are going to have lane more Shrine presence then. Looks like DKK decided to tap, looking to come back in. But Medivh is getting so low. He's almost like one more hit from the Falstad, and he might go down. Stage Dive comes in, hits nobody. A little bit of a whiff. I don't know why you go on this side. Expulsions, though, look at that. Split the team perfectly. They need to be focused on the team. Unfortunately, ETC was on the other side. Gets shrunk right and killed. Leyline Seal hits 2 of them, but APOC's already down. But that just kept Kerrigan on their side of the map and for the kill. Sonya does get the Rhaegar at the end. Almost able to. If she gets a spear here. Oh, so close. He wants it bad. Nope. She's going to walk away. That does secure the 3rd Punisher for Unstable. And now, with all 5 of them here, this is where we can start seeing some cheeky Medivh plays. Let's see where Medivh is at with his Master's Touch. He's already finished, so that's really good. We do see Particle Grenade finished, waiting to give me 20. Season Marksman's not going. It does have Season Weapon, Secret Weapon. Sis, I mean, you went all auto attack. Why did you get Static Shield? But anyways, there comes the portal. Everybody's going to come in, trying to engage on it. APOC comes in, hits 4 members again. Expulsion Zone down. Big Rain of Vengeance hitting 2 of them. Medivh decides to go down. Good thing he already finished Master's Touch. Kerrigan's going to town now with the follow-ups and the resets. Even though that portal come in, it was quickly responded to by Dunning Kreuger with the Kerrigan stuns, with the Expulsion Zone to try to do some damage and push him out of the way. And then obviously the AoE from Falstad. So a good counter engage. They lost 1 for the price of 2, but they did not lose their keep. So that I would say that's a win on the side of Dunning Loring, or Dunning Kreuger. Dunning Kreuger should be able to get 13 pretty quickly here. And not much to do right now other than, again, the in-between limbo between shrines where you're just kind of doing merc camps, you know, making sure that your presence on the map is not one-sided. All 5 members of Unstable in the middle here. That annoying bird just giving all the vision. So I'm just coming in here for the Falstad, but Falstad sniffs it out and backs out. Back to their top lanes, former glory that they were in the beginning of the game. Yeah, see, this is how usually the top lane works for a Falstad versus Sonya. Is Sonya takes some damage, but pushes out the lane. And then Falstad has to back out a little bit to clear the lane, and then Sonya can heal. Both teams just going back to their mercs, making sure that they control the map. Nothing too exciting going on right now. Let's see for talents. We have Double Strike on the side of Kerrigan. Giant Killer on Falstad. I'm just so... I don't know. Static Shield is just throwing me off. It looks like we might be getting an invade here on the side of Unstable. All 5 go in. Gus pushes them away. They still have a portal to come into it, but a good root follow-up. And ETC is trying to stage dive on top of all 3 of them. Gives up the camp for that, and dies anyways. Kerrigan's going to go down as well. Expulsion Zone's a little bit too late. It was a weird engage. I mean, the idea was right. The idea was right to come in with the Unstable portal. Got gusted away. Went for a second time. It worked the second time. And that timing right when the shrine was going up. So now that is a free shrine. They can send 1 person to it. It should be the Sonya. They want to send Sonya. Probably wants to go back to it. There you go. And then the rest of them, yeah, they swap it out. And the rest of them just want to push. They don't have to push the same lane. They can separate out, get soak. They're already 16 on them. They're in no pressure right now. They just don't want to overextend and get caught. Can you take the portal when you're mounted? Ooh, I like the mount synergy. I like it. So these people have some gold to spend. So Zarya's down here trying to get 16 for the team. That is going to work. It's helpful for them. Honestly, you don't need to take this right away. They're taking, I mean, they didn't all need to go back to it. They probably wanted to clear out of the lanes. Like, they almost push this fort while they had 16 talent tier. And, but granted, they were able to get the wall down. So now they have a clear shot onto anybody that the Punisher pushes onto. Falstad is flying back, coming here for the team fight. They're not 16 yet, so this is a little sketchy. This is going to really have to come down to lining up their ultimates correctly. Punisher does come in. Roots misses. ETC's out of the way. Just barely on the roots. Falstad, Sonya's coming into the keep, trying to spin to win, knowing that there's no stuns left. Kerrigan jumps in. No combo stun. Hits 3 of them. That's a good stun. The expulsion zone to push them out of the lane. Sonya is a little bit out of position, but the force of wall is able to keep him alive, and he's just going to spin back inwards, knowing that he's not too scared. Kerrigan is already dead. If they get a couple more picks here, then this actually could be game. Rhaegar, the good open route, and Twilight Dream just to secure the kill. And it looks like Unstable might be able to come back here with the win. ETC is going to dive in, do some damage. Zarya shields him, pushes in, but it slides away for the stun. They might be able to defend this. I don't know, the force of will from Medivh. Looks like there's some indecisiveness. They don't know whether they want to go in or stay out. They're looking for, I guess, a couple more baits. Barely get away from the Falstad. It's just, this is a long team fight. They're just getting so low. I don't know how much they can sustain it. They're trying to focus the core. Oh my god. 10%. The count. There's just that slight bit of indecisiveness. That little bit. That was a team wipe on the core. Unfortunately for them, they can't do anything about it. Like, all 3 forts are up with all the walls. So, you have a full team wipe, but you can't do anything. Feels bad, man. Feels real bad. But it's a good defense now. It's like you saw the decisiveness on the side of Unstable. You know, the portal went in, they were walking back and forth and couldn't decide what they wanted to do. If they just committed, that would have been game right there. Granted, it's a 10% core, 30% with the shields. You know, they can easily come back with that with any type of backdooring. This is going to put immense pressure on Dunning-Kruger. Anytime they don't see them on the map, they have to think they're backdooring. So that's puts a lot of, you know, mind games into the mix for Unstable. You know, they can force them to think that they're backdooring, but really just be taking a merc camp or setting up a bush gank. So, and granted, they also already have catapults constantly pushing this lane. If they don't keep this lane sustained and pushing out, then those catapults will eventually win them the game with any drawn out team fights. So the next shrine, this could determine game. If I would say even 3 members of Dunning-Kruger die, then I think Unstable can probably go for the win. So this is going to be a really important team fight. All ultimates are up. Stage dive comes in for the engage. Zarya comes in trying to get some expulsions. So separate's a great team fight, separate, but another 5-man APOC. They don't even need Leyline Seal to get the 5-man APOC. Diablo is getting low, so Zarya getting focused down. Zarya does go down. A big Leyline Seal, hitting 2 of them, saving the Diablo. Diablo finally does go down. And if this 4-man, this should be the end of the game. They should just run to core right now. Sonya can solo it from here. There. Dunning-Kruger is calling the GG. I mean, they're getting hit by all the APOCs. I mean, give on Diablo for just hitting 5-man APOCs so many times. A little bit of a gust, a little bit of annoyance. He knows his fate. So, should be second game going to the side of Unstable, and that's going to take us to a game 3. You guys have pushed out my second cast because I didn't realize you guys moved it to a best of 3. Oh well, we're doing it live. All right. Good job, Unstable, bringing it back. Tied the game, 1-1. And let me update that on the site. Unstable wins. Go to round 3. Going back to Dunning-Kreuger on the map pick. All right, so I need to, give me a sec. I need to contact the other team to make sure that I'm not, trying to dissuade them. Let's see, Chair League. I need to catch up on the team that I was supposed to cast tonight, but you guys forcing it to a game 3. Self-references. So we call in for Battlefield of Eternity. Great game. Thanks for the follow. Lady Ronin, thanks. I'm just trying to set up the third game. These guys, they've been 2 very close matches. I'm just trying to contact my other team that I was supposed to be casting after them. This is just leaking into their time. Sorry guys, I need to set up. I need to get in contact with the other guys, making sure that they don't think that they're going to be late. one sec. Let me get a hold of the captain on the other team. I think this might be the guy that added me already. Thanks for this follow totem. Let's see, where is this guy? Oh, we're all good? Okay, so it looks like everybody's waiting. All right, content to the other team. They're good to go. I think they're all watching anyways. So let's move on to game number 3. Let me set it to tournament mode. Let me set it to the first team that's draft picking. Map picking team, draft starting team is unstable. Team 1. All right, let's get going. So, Dunning-Loring, or sorry, I keep saying that. So there's a city near me. It's called Dunning-Loring, and every time I hear you guys' name, I think of that every time. So Dunning-Kreuger. Never mind, we got a DC. Psych. So we got a little bit of a DC on unstable. Lost his internet. Ouch. Draft dodging. Minus 300 DKP. Everybody's blaming one team member who always does it. Sorry, checking a few snaps. I'm a popular dude with my one snap. Alright, restarting. So, now I'm really going to feel bad for self-references and, what's their name? Heroes of Overleague. Huh, I like it, Overleague. So, the other team is going to start the first round, so we will be joining them on their second game. Hopefully, as long as Dunning Unstable doesn't have too long of a connection issue. All right, we're gonna I'm gonna take a quick AFK. Just gonna go to the bathroom real quick. So be right back. All right, so how's everybody enjoying it so far? I ask with a 90-second delay. So, not like you can answer me anyways. Let me just read through chat a little bit. Oh, we got him coming back. Mystic Shroud is back. Never mind. Looks like we're starting right now. All right, and let's go. All right, take two. Let me transition so you guys can actually see the draft. So not to make that mistake again. All right, game number 3. That's always exciting. Going on to Battlefield of Eternity, picked by Dunning-Kreuger, with Unstable getting first ban. So this is a map where you're going to want to race. This is a map where you are either drafting for two types of comp. You either draft for the race comp or you draft for the kill comp. So, and what the idea of that is, if you don't think you're going to win the race, you need to be able to delay them really well. And delay is tricky to execute correctly, because if you are dying to poke, if your immortal is still dying to poke while you're defending, and so then you're basically in a losing situation where you will eventually lose unless you get a kill, or unless you can have somebody on your team that can also burn down the immortal. We see a rag ban and a mouth ban. I think Artanis is a very solid first pick right here. There it is. Yeah, because amateur opponent does work. Plus, so if you're on the delay side where you decide to defend your immortal and you want to send one person to your immortal to actually do damage, then Artanis is actually going to do pretty good damage to the immortal. This will take him a while, but it's better than nothing. Plus, he's a tank. He's a frontliner. He has the swaps. Like, it's all around solid. Dunning-Kreuger decides to pick up the Diablo, saying that, hey, we saw your APOCs last game. Let us do the APOC this time. And they stick with the Rhaegar. So obviously their healer likes Rhaegar. Granted, Malf was already banned, so you're kind of stuck with it. So now, Unstable, they have one person that does. They're already winning on the race, even though it's one member to two. Unstable is already winning the race just because of Artanis. So now they want to go back to winning the race more. Maybe pick up a Greymane, maybe pick up a Lunara, maybe pick up Li Ming. I think this is probably one of Li Ming's strongest maps, along with Sky Temple, just because if you are forced into a scenario where they are defending, then Li Ming gets so much poke between Orb and Magic Missiles. And they decided to go with the Ariel Vala. Ariel's a little bit of a trap on this map. She's only good if you are being engaged upon, because otherwise she gets literally no hope. If a Vala's an Ariel hope generator, so that's, you would think those go together, which they do. But on the Immortal, she generates little to no hope. And Ariel herself generates little to no hope. So if there's ever a situation when they decide to engage on you real quickly, you almost have no hope to start the fight with. But again, a caveat to that is, if you're on the Immortal by yourself, you don't need hope because you're not taking damage, because you're not being invaded. So either way, it works. So right now with the Artanis, they ban the Cho'Gall. Interesting. I don't know if, I guess, do they know that Unstable goes Cho'Gall? I mean, it's not bad. I mean, Cho'Gall would be a very interesting pick between the Artanis, between the Ariel, between the Vala. I would have been very pleased if we saw the Cho'Gall come out. I definitely wouldn't have been expecting it. So Unstable is looking to ban the Zeratul. A little bit scared of the potential of a VP into APOC into winning the game. Solid ban. So right now, I think they almost want us to come to... actually, I mean, they still have potential to win the race. They could still go Tyrael Greymane. They could still go... they could still pick the Li Ming. They could do Tyrael Greymane, Li Ming as the third pick. So they still have potential to win this race back. They could go Tyrande. Tyrande second double heals with Tyrande and some other type of DPS that has good burst. Because with Tyrande, you only have that 4-second window where you want to do a lot of your damage. So they do pick up the Li Ming, they pick up the Tychus. Right now, they are still losing the race. But Tychus and Li Ming are both good poke targets if they're to defend. Tychus not so much, but Li Ming is. And Diablo with the... since when you're defending, a lot of times the other team's just kind of like staying back and a little bit and poking. Diablo forces the engage with his dive. And we get the Falstad ETC to round out Unstable team. Another ranged DPS, auto attack damage that can do good work on the Immortal, and ETC for some zone. Solid picks. So now what is Battlefield? What is Dunning-Kruger looking for? I still would like to see Tyrande. I think Tyrande would actually work pretty well here. I don't think they can go Greymane anymore. They kind of want another frontliner, unfortunately. Tyrael could work for engaging onto that team. They would basically, if they go Tyrael, they're basically saying, we're going to invade, we're going to defend our Immortal every time. Which is not bad. I mean, they could probably keep Tychus on their own Immortal to DPS it down while they're defending. They could go risky and go Greymane and just try to win the race. So I think they decided to go on the Varian. Interesting. Playing to the late game, so they're gonna give up the first Immortal. Picking Varian guarantees Dunning-Kruger will lose the first Immortal because Varian will not have 10 yet. I wonder if they're gonna go Twin Blades. We'll see how that goes out. I mean, Twin Blades wrecks Immortals. But I think even with that, they still might lose the race. We'll have to see. I can see useful both Twin Blades and Taunt between the Artanis and the Vala. Both good Taunt targets. Between Vala and Falstad. Forces out an Aegis from Ariel because, I mean, Ariel does not have Cleanse. So between Diablo, Taunt, Rhaegar, that's a lot of CC that Ariel has to forcibly use Aegis on, which is, a 60-second, is it 60 seconds? Versus a 20-second cooldown. Granted, Aegis allows you to, refocus fire and get some extra damage on. So we'll have to see how this plays out. I can see pros and cons for both teams. So, game number 3, Battlefield of Eternity. Last game for both of these teams for this week. With the Mount Synergy again, look at all that yellow. Super Dive on Falstad, Totem on the Ariel. I don't think Mystic Shroud on the Eternus. Wasn't Mystic Shroud the healer last game, so they decided to swap it up a little bit. Liquid on the ETC and Shiz on the Vala. On the right side, Dunning-Kruger Knights. We got Shvek on Li Ming, Ralph Stew on Tychus, Hotaru on Rhaegar, Goku Buri on Varian, and Apple Eater on the Diablo. We're seeing a split of a 2-3, so we're not going to have the 4-1 rotation. Falstad will easily be able to fly top if he thinks that if Artanis is going to be in trouble. A little bit of a whip on the Diablo. So if Tychus does decide to join down on the 4-man, it's just going to be a 4v1. Li Ming is just going to basically make that lane even. As long as she doesn't get swapped by Artanis, then she should have no problem just killing the lane. Diablo's looking for a pull onto ETC, but during all that time, he was taking a lot of damage from the Vala and the Falstad. Look at that Ariel Hope. She has infinite hope now. So this should be a pretty even team fight, or pretty even lane, as long as Li Ming doesn't get swapped. Diablo's taking some poke. Remember, they don't have a good team yet until Varian gets 4. First, you have your 2 things. You're playing to 4, and then you're playing to 10. He did go Lion's Maw, so that has an inkling to go Taunt. Even though if you went Taunt, I would rather have seen Overpower. I think people are underappreciating Overpower. Overpower does a lot of damage, guys. It does a lot of damage. Vala's going to be the constant hat target on the side of... Thought they might have been down in the bushes there. Taika is going to try to come up and try to get the gank on Artanis. That's not going to play out well. You'll probably scare him, but that's about it. Yeah, that's... Does get swapped into the towers. That's not the best. Almost pays for it. So close. He's going to have to back out. So that means he's not going to be available to defend these mortals, and it's going to give Unstable the initial start on the Immortals, forcing Dunning-Kruger to defend, but down a man. Look how fast they killed that. It's already at half health. Now their job is just to poke. Diablo might go down for that. It goes a little bit too far. Gets hit by the false stab to get taken down. Taika's trying to focus on ETC. Good orb hit, taking down 3 of them. So right now, I think Dunn-Kruger just needs to do as much damage as possible. Yeah, they're going to start doing the team fight. Granted, it's not going to be nearly as quick as Unstable. And with the timing of this, they might actually win the first 2 Immortals. Like, the defense wasn't delayed enough to really give any type of lead. And I think the next Immortal will probably start around level 8, 9. And so they might lose... They might lose 2. They might lose the first 2, which it'll be hard to come back. But if once Varian gets 10, they get the stun lock comp with with Li Ming and Tychus, they might be able to come back with a lot of kills. But we'll have to see how it goes. Varian is going to be in the solo lane. That's good because he's pretty useless right now. Diablo looking for a little bit of a flip over the wall before the Immortal killed it. No dice. Trying to swap a big swap on Diablo, coming into the Artanis follow-up, and that is a great response on their team to immediately see that swap follow-up on him. Good Sariel whip, stun into the Tychus. ETC follow-up. ETC getting a little bit too far, might go down to the tower, does go down, so it is a counter kill. And they're trying to get this fort so close. Varian's just gonna throw his whatever, I don't know what you would call that. Like it's like an energy beam or something. Artanis is master level? Well, I could see it. That swap was pretty good. They should be seeing a swap here. He was expecting the Rhaegar to run down there, but the Ariel whipped him. I mean, it doesn't matter anyways. They got the kill, but you can see. I mean, that was definitely some thinking. He's hoping Rhaegar was going to come down to this angle here. Artanis is just going to soak a little bit of shots. He can because he gets those shields. Goku's probably having a fun time against this Falstad right here, and this fort is now, I think, almost guaranteed to go down if they put any type of pressure with this. In the next 20-30 seconds, they're probably going to take knights, because the next Immortal should be spawning soon, within the next 30 seconds. Varian's just trying to get 10. This Falstad decides to go Hammer Gains with Season Marksman. Yeah, here goes the Knights being taken by the side of Unstable. Counter Knights being taken by Dunning-Kruger. And Li Ming's forced to lane with Artanis. Yep, right on time. Both Knights being taken. A little bit delayed on the side of Dunning-Kruger, because they're taking this time. So now the thing about timing that correctly is that you see how Unstable is already in position to fight their Immortal, whereas they just got done with those Knights. Looking for a engage on the ETC, could be looking for a swap. Li Ming does blink out of the way. Artanis gets stunned by the Immortal. Tychus is going to try to come to the kill, but ETC stuns him. Tychus almost goes down to the fall stab, but barely gets out of the range of the lightning strikes. And that leaves Vala and Artanis to just shred the Immortal. No contest. And this is going to put Dunning-Kruger in a very tough position. Luckily, they do have their knights pushing, so that does give them a little bit. But they need to get a kill here to have any type of contention. Miss on the Artanis swap, going for the Ariel. No follow-up from the rest of his team. Swap on pull on the Artanis. Artanis might go down for it. That's a big win for him. But good if they can get the Ariel here too as well. Diablo getting pushed. He has flip over somebody. Just barely gets out of the way. Oh, the orb finishes off the Falstad. And the overkill going on to Vala. That's a huge win for Dunning-Kruger, because now, I mean, they'll be up and they'll still lose this Immortal because they won't be able to kill it fast enough. Sorry, excuse me there. They won't be able to kill this Immortal fast enough, I think. They'll be able to just send Artanis onto this one. Actually, will they? I don't know if they'll get it in time. This will be close. Falstad flying in. Does get stunned. Okay, they are able to get it. That's what I thought. I was like, there's no way they're going to be able to beat that with Artanis rezzing so quickly. A big swap on the Diablo. Diablo charges through the wall to save himself on the Artanis. That was a good play on the Diablo. I mean, all those kills, those 4 kills that they got right there gave them the level lead, half a level lead. Now, so that means both teams will probably get 10 roughly the same time here. I think Unstable might get it a little bit quicker only because of the structure damage. Baron getting a little bit low. If there was an Artanis there, they're going to be looking for the swap right now. They have to be careful. They have to anticipate that the swap is happening. And once they see Artanis dive in, they want to sidestep. Level 10 is hit for Unstable, so they want to be aggressive right now. The Immortal is already going down. So now Dunning-Kruger is going to want to get 10 real quick. Goku is on the top lane. This lane should give them 10 along with bottom lane. ETC looking to give a little bit of poke. Leeming scouts the bush. Smart play, knowing that any type of face checking is unapproved. Level 10 on the side of Dunning-Kruger now. Leeming still gets Wave of Force, even though ETC went stage dive. He wants to be able to interrupt our big swap on Diablo. Did not sidestep it. See if he's not able to charge through. He was just about to charge through somebody, but ETC stunned him right in the way. A big pill. So whatever you see Artanis start diving, just immediately start step. You want to act like it's a Kerrigan combo, and as soon as you see Kerrigan Q into somebody, you sidestep. And that's how they want to play it. Odin does go down. A extra damage goes on to Vala. Ariel is out of hope. They really want to engage on this now because Ariel has no hope. But unfortunately, Tychus is pretty slow. We do have Taunt out, APOC, Wave of Force, Suppression Pulse to get rid of some of the auto attack damage, especially on the Odin and the Varian. Strafe, since there's 2 stuns. Strafe is pretty. I guess she wants to give Ariel as much hope as possible, and Strafe is a giant hope generator. So Ariel is just able to spam her heal, especially with the reduced cooldown. But Strafe can be interrupted pretty quickly. If Diablo had the flip on that with the follow-up of the Varian, that could have been a kill on Falstad. And that gust just barely gives them the Merc camp right there. I think if Diablo was able to flip the Vala right there and Varian followed up, that should have been a kill on Vala. So they're still looking to race, even though they've been confirmed multiple times that they are not going to win the race. They have the kill potential on the side of Dunning-Kruger. They need to be defending, pick a target, come from a flank side, and pick a target and just kill it. That's how they're going to be winning this fight. Luckily, good positioning favorable positioning for Dunning-Kruger. Vala's not the best poke in this situation because her multi-shot's actually pretty short range. And she did go Hungry, and granted she has Hungry Arrow, but with all the people around, Hungry Arrow will bounce to other people, so she's only going to get 1 Hungry Arrow shot at a time. Artanis is going to be constantly looking for swaps. Big orb hit on the Falstad. Forces Ariel to use all of her hope, but she got that back really quick. Another big orb hit. We are seeing the full orb build out of Leeming. I'd like to see Seeker. Here comes the stun. Oh, he's barely able to get away. But the orb is solid onto Falstad. Gets the kill. There's our resets. APOC hits nobody. Artanis is looking at a big ancestral healing on Tychus. Leeming's in the back lane killing Vala. Look how low Diablo and Rhaegar are. But a big orb on Oriel and another reset for Leeming. This is exactly what Dunning-Kruger needed. They have the better teamfight ability, I think, between the Tychus, Diablo, and Varian. They just needed to utilize it. they're able to get their break on that Immortal fight and come back and get the kills. So they still have Artanis just came up, Vala just came up. Artanis is actually, never mind, Artanis never died. I'm pretty good. This Vala is, Li Ming is barely getting out of the way. Another big orb. Doesn't get the full range on it. She did get the reduced cooldown orb, so she's going to be throwing orbs for days. And everybody's back up, so they're going to be looking to basically a reset. They weren't able to get as much done as they would have liked. They did catch up a lot on the Immortal damage, but they weren't able to get as much reset as they like. They're going to be looking for the combo. The Ariel, oh, there's a little bit of miscommunication. That was a free Ariel kill. If they did get Falstad for it, which is still worth, but are they going to lose the Immortal? Just so close. Another kill on Ariel. They just have so much kill potential, and they just really need to focus on that. Falstad, Vala's going to try to come in from the right side to try to get the last multi-shot on the Immortal. Force the next phase, which it does. Artanis is just being a little cheeky here. He will go down, though. So, Unstable did win the Immortal, but a lot of people died. So they're not able to get a lot of value out of this. So it's very... And Dunning-Kruger, with all those kills, it is now 4-10. With all those kills, is able to get the level lead. This fort will still go down to the Immortal, chunking it. But if those team fights keep going as they are, I can see Dunning-Kruger coming back in this game. It's going to be slower. They have a lot more to go through. But a late game Immortal does a lot of damage to a fort. Especially if you keep getting more picks. They just need to get a little bit more to get... Odin does go down. They're looking for a big defense here. They don't want to have any more structure damage being taken. So, charge on Diablo goes out, but no dice. Gus does go down. Does not hit the Odin. Folly goes real low. Does go down to the Tychus. Big swap on Artanis, but Rhaegar should still have Ancestral Healing. There goes on the Tychus. He's able to re-engage. Varian charges in, taunts the Falstad. Now the focus changes to Artanis, and he's going to go down. Ariel is going to be definitely... No way she's getting out of here. That was a... Look at all that hope. Holy cow. The next slow, followed up by the charge by Varian, should concede this Ariel kill. There it is. Big orb damage. She's still alive. Holy cow. There's going to be a little... Focus on this Ariel, please. Somebody. Somebody don't let her out. Alright, there it is. Holy cow. There it is. That took forever. That took forever, guys. I know what they were trying to do. They figured, okay, you guys got the kill. It's fine. I'll try to secure the next one. But they took them forever to get that kill. The faster you get this kill, the faster they can mount and go for the next ones. So you gotta think about that. Alright. Again, utilizing the team fighting. Their team fighting is so much better. They are really low in mana. They're going to want to take this and back out completely. They need to hearth, get their mana back, go do the mercs, and then utilize their 16 advantage. Li Ming did get Ancestral Presence, so her mana is not too bad. But you guys are going to want to hearth before this Immortal. Alright, never mind. They're not going to be able to have the Knights this time. There are going to be Knights pushing bottom on the side of Unstable. Those are going to want to be cleared out soon. I don't know who wins this. I think the Shaman will always win that. They're deciding against taking the Knights, knowing that they don't have time for it. They want to get in good position for the Immortals, which this is a good position for them. If they give a little bit of a party bush here. It should have been over here to get the party bush. Is scouted out by Li Ming. Diablo does show with his fires. See if we're gonna have a big orb hitting 3 members. Artanis is the one that gets poking out. Charge, stun. The gust comes out, but the stun from the Immortal does finish off the Artanis. Good follow up by everybody. That was a big orb hit on him. I mean, I have to say the Li Ming, for going orb build, she's definitely getting value out of it. Usually you see the Seeker, because Seeker would do the same, but I think more damage. And it's more useful on the Immortal. Let's see who's going to be the next focus fire. It looks like it should be Vala if we have the taunt going out, but nobody focused her. A little bit of miscommunication. Apoc comes out, whiffs everybody. Ariel is focused out on the Aegis. Tychus with the overkill ends up killing her. Falstad is almost going down. Li Ming wants the kill with the magic missiles. Finishes it off. Diablo's still ready to fight. But ETC's saying, nah, brah. Nah, brah, I'm out. And this should secure Dunning-Kruger's first Immortal. At least the first phase of the Immortal. As long as teamfights don't go haywire, they should have no problem. Falstad still has 18 seconds, but he can fly in. Ariel still has another 8. They don't really want to be... Unstable does not want to be fighting right now. I think they still lose this race. Honestly, I think they still lose this race. Oh, it is so close. Okay, no. Dunning-Kruger's got it. But they caught up. I mean, that was here versus here. They caught up. Like, they almost wanted to get, again, more team fights. Falstad out of position here. This should be a dead Falstad. Easy pickings. The stun lock from Varian is so strong. I mean, it's always, like, disheartening because you're going to lose the early game. And it just comes down to, hopefully you don't lose it too hard. And now we have a pretty healthy Immortal. First Immortal on the side of Dunning-Kruger. This is a great comeback so far. Once they hit that 10, man, they have just been powering over them once they hit 10. Odin comes down, looking to get a big force push. They're trying to get a keep here, securing a very big lead. If they get any type of picks, with the Ariel right here, via the top follow, the big orb damage, Aegis is forced out. If we have a Diablo foot, again, APOC only hits one. Gust has hit Varian out. Keep does go down. Diablo might die here, though. I think he'll be coming back right away. Vala's forcing a little bit out. Vala does go down. ETC comes in with the stage dive, hitting 3 people. Varian might be, but he'll just walk away. The orb damage is on point. Tychus is going down for it. Got a little bit more aggressive. I think that Ancestral was meant for the Tychus. Missed it on the wrong person, I think. Big swap. Slowing everybody, but the turn on the Ariel almost. So that was a 1-for-1. Or technically 2 if you count Diablo. And they're still fighting, man. They're still pushing into this. And holy cow, I wasn't even paying attention to the Immortal doing core damage. 57%. Almost level 20 on Dunning-Kruger. And that comeback. This comeback, man. This is a good game. Alright, so. Resetting. Back to doing mercs. You know, making sure you control your lane pressure. We have catapults now pushing on top lane for the side of Dunning-Kruger. And everybody's just going to be positioning for any type of ganks. They're not showing that they've taken this yet, just so that they can have this pushing at the same time. Make sure that they can force Dunning-Kruger to stay on the bottom lane. But they have mercs pushing on top lane against a no keep and a core that is already at half health. So they're going to be defending. It looks like they almost want a 5-man push here. They don't have Tychus. Let's see if he's going to rotate over. Falstad's still not showing that they're taking this camp. I'm not really sure what the purpose of this is. Is he AFK? Did he AFK out, guys? What are you doing, Falstad? Is that a really cool shell? There he is. There he moves. This is getting risky. I think he might be out of position now. Using the Gust to take it, and still loses the Shrine. I don't know what that play was. Honestly, I'm not quite certain the purpose of that. Gust is down. Level 20 is up on the side of Dunning-Kruger. I think they probably want to force this fight. It's hard to fight for them on top of Shrines. APOC did go down. They don't have APOC, and that's a long cooldown. Gus is back up in 30. If they get a good pick here with the Varian, Whip is out. If they get a good pick with the Varian, I think they can definitely engage on it. But right now, they're just going to have Li Ming poke for days. She has orbs. She just basically just constantly throws orbs out there. If she gets any type of hero hits, then orbs basically reset. Going on the Vala, picked up the wrong person. Varian comes in, everybody's getting stunned by the Immortal, but Vala still goes down by the Tychus. Odin coming out. Li Ming's in trouble. Blinks the juke blink. Stage dive comes in, hitting nobody. The kill on Artanis. I think they might be able to take this to core with the big red button Diablo. Taunt Varian. He's so strong, guys. I think nobody's respecting the Taunt Varian. And this should be game. They can just take this to the core. 4 down on the side of unstable. Congrats, guys. That's a comeback. I mean, they lost the first 3 immortals easily. Lost the first 2 forts. Luckily, they never lost a keep, and that's the big deal. I mean, you have a Varian, you're gonna be behind in the early game, but man, when they'd hit 10, I don't think they ever lost. I think they lost maybe 2 people after they hit 10, and those were Diablos. I'm pretty sure. So, good game, guys. Congrats to Dunning-Kreuger Knights on a good comeback, a good best of 3 games. Going to the 3rd game. I'll have to say all 3 games were pretty close. They both came back. They both had their back and forth, but none of them were one-sided. Definitely even games. Let me set it up for the rounds. We have DraftKings. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for the cast. Thanks for letting me cast, guys. And I had a lot of fun. Those were definitely good games. And congrats to Dunning-Kreuger Knight. Definitely utilizing the combos between the Varian. Anyways, so my name is Snaginanez. I'm casting Cherry League quite often. Unfortunately, I did not anticipate